Welcome. In this video, we'll show you all the new features and workflow improvements in FL Studio 2024.2. We have new and updated plugins, long-awaited playlist and piano roll updates, a bypass for delay compensation, and many other amazing features to cover. Let's start with the most important news. Plugins. Transporter is a new real-time re-looping effects plugin. It analyzes incoming transients and loops them independently in two separate buffers. Great for changing up melodic material or generating drum fills in the blink of an eye. Keeping the promise to vectorize all of FL Studio's UI, Drumpad, Effector, Poison, and Soar now have fully functional, true to the raster original, vectorial user interfaces that look crisp at any resolution. And while we're on that topic, you can now scale individual FL Studio plugins to higher or lower scaling factors than FL Studio itself. Select Scaling and your scaling factor in the plugin menu on the top left. Not all FL Studio plugins support this yet, but most do. Less squinting means more music making. This one's two updates in one. FL Cloud Pro subscriptions now include all Flex packs, and in turn, Flex has been updated to support this new option. When you have a Pro subscription, you can immediately download all packs. See which ones are using your FL Cloud plan by the cloud icons here. This does not override your perpetual FlexPack licenses. In LuxeVerb, you can now disable the built-in limiter that limits the wet signal to 0 decibels with this new switch. Voltage controller can now use note colors to output 2 parameters per note to its 4 independent outputs. This means you can have up to 4 voice chords per instance, or program a drum sequence entirely in one voltage controller, if your drum modules can work with only pitch and gate signals. Python scripting in Edison now allows live audio preview, like so. If you have older scripts, these won't automatically gain this new functionality, so you will need to update them. Our developers have updated most Edison scripts already. Check the user forum for your favorites. All plugin preset selectors now default to tree display. It's easier on the eyes and less likely to completely fill the screen with presets when you open Citrus for the first time. So, we have decided that this is objectively the best way to look at plugin presets if you're new. Playlist and piano roll. Here's one you've been asking about consistently for the last 5 years. The piano roll can now show ghost notes from other patterns, if the pattern clips are set up to play simultaneously in the playlist. To support this workflow, there's a new ghost note channels selector on the upper right side of the piano roll window that you can use to decide what channels show. Out-of-pattern ghost notes are not accessible via the double right-click shortcut, so they appear as rectangle outlines only. We've added an option to select stacked clips in the playlist and select stacked notes in the piano roll. Stacked notes means they are exactly the same length and have exactly the same starting point, so they overlap completely, making them impossible to see with the naked eye. but when played back, the plugin will receive and play the same note twice, potentially causing a massive spike in volume, like in this example. And fixed. This works in addition to the overlapping notes option that was available previously. You can now recolor clips from the picker panel. Previously, this was only possible through the rename and color option in the menu, which takes keyboard focus away. The chord progression tool now always ignores the root note by default when using the inversion selector. If the related mixer track has not been named, a new audio track will inherit its name from the playlist track now. Previously, track names were always inherited from the mixer, no matter what. The stem extractor now has a safe mode option for some CPUs that may have obvious problems using the tool, like crashes or obviously erroneous audio. Names and icons of created stems are also automatically set. Mixer. There is a new low latency mixer track option for live playing or recording. This ignores plugin latency on other tracks and will allow recording audio and MIDI without any latency. Be aware that this does not include master latency or latency on any bus tracks that the selected track is routed to. Channel rack. Select Browse Channel States from a Channels menu on the top left to open the new Channel Presets folder in the browser. Browser. Samples used in the project will now show in the current project section of the browser. FL Cloud Sounds. We've added a new feature to mimic the browser's hot swap in place functionality without using your download credits. Click the hot swap button to enable very quick preview of sounds in place. Instead of downloading the whole uncompressed sample and potentially using up a download credit on a dud, this will swap the existing audio in the plugin you have focused with a temporary low-quality OGG compressed preview that loads in milliseconds compared to the full quality sample without committing to it before you're ready. When you are ready to commit, simply click the extra plus button here. The Sounds tab also now preloads in the background when FL Studio starts, so you don't have to wait to use it in the middle of a project. Quality of life updates. Telemetry. To better understand what people do with FL Studio and where the hang-ups in the creation process happen, we have now added an option to opt in to sending us anonymous usage data for FL Studio. We did this to see hard data on how long FL Studio is used on average, which plugins are used the most, and what some of the most popular techniques among our user base are. If you've opened FL Studio 2024.2 for the first time, you'll likely have seen the option in the welcome screen. If you have that turned off, however, you can opt into data collection in the general settings under Updates and Privacy. Unlocking FL Studio Online can now use your already logged-in ImageLine account in your web browser, saving you the hassle of entering your credentials in FL Studio itself every time. The application menu in macOS has returned from its brief vacation to Ibiza. It's here to stay now. In the Tempo Tapper, you can now deselect the Apply Tempo option, so tapping doesn't change the project's tempo. Useful for investigating the tempo of audio you're listening to. We've added a new metronome sound. Right-click the toolbar icon and select Pulse, which is a minimalistic blip, less distracting than the previous options. We have added new clap, snap, and zero icons, available in all icon selectors. ASIO for All has been removed from the FL Studio installer to slim it down, and must be installed separately if needed. And that's all the new features in FL Studio 24.2. We hope you'll love it just as much as we love your lifetime free updates. Don't forget to check out the video description for links to the user manual and the projects we made for this video. Happy music making!